that is the law. So the body that actually regulates, like, function under CAMA is actually the Corporate Affairs Commission, and I think that should ring a bell. That is the body that deals with registration of companies, that is incorporation of companies, incorporation, not registration, incorporation of companies and businesses, and also the issuance of certificates. Okay. Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mary. I am a practicing lawyer in Nigeria, and on this channel I share videos to educate the public. Also, I share videos to help new wigs and students at the Nigerian law school. So about some weeks ago, I got a comment in the comment section where someone actually said I should try to come up with some tutorial videos. And the things that actually came to my mind that's when I read that comment was that I graduated from the Nigerian law school. I was called to Nigeria by in 2017, so it's been a while, and I do say it's oftentimes that what is obtainable in practice is different from what we have been taught at the Nigerian law school. What I'm trying to say in essence is that to come up with tutorial videos when I left the Nigerian law school as at, let's say, 6 years ago. So I just feel, can I really do this? So after so much contemplation, I had to get some of the tutorial books of some of the books that are being used at the Nigerian law school to refresh my memory, so that if I'm coming up with tutorial videos, I will not be sharing from what I don't know, just to refresh my memory. Okay, so I actually I'll be making tutorial videos, but to be a concise tutorial videos, because I wouldn't want anyone to rely solely on my videos for the bar finance, so that will be wrong. So I'll only be coming up with tutorial videos just to actually give you an understanding, just like the way the lecturers will do at the in the lecture room. Okay, but for some people that were not attentive, or probably they still do not understand, or probably they were not in class. Okay, so that is the essence of this tutorial videos. You still need to fall back to your textbooks and read more, to your syllabus and your textbooks, and read more. So I will be starting with corporate law practice, and the topic I will be this tutorial video will be based on the topic foreign participation in Nigeria. So as the topic implies, foreign participation in Nigeria, foreign, that is aliens, people that are not part of us in this country. How can they participate in business in Nigeria? Remember, we're talking about corporate law practice, so that relates with business. Okay, so how can aliens come into the country, come into Nigeria, and actually participate in our business, in doing business in Nigeria? So that is basically what it means by foreign participation in Nigeria. So basically, this is just a basic definition of foreign participation. So we're talking about aliens coming into the country to do business, or to actually, some may not come, but they can actually acquire shares. Okay, so we'll still talk about the mode of participation, how aliens can actually participate in business in Nigeria. There are actually 3 basic ways of mode of participation, but in this definition you can actually see 2 already. Okay, that is for an alien to come into the country and form a business and incorporate a company. Okay, or to actually buy shares, acquire shares in a public quoted company. Public quoted company means a company that has its equity shares registered in the stock market. Okay, so for every general rule, there are exemptions. So generally, foreigners can come into the country to do business, but what are the exemptions? There are 3 basic exemptions to that. Okay, and those are the business on the negative list. So number 1 is no foreigner can come into the country to do any business that relates to production of arms and ammunition, and I think that is reasonable enough, because you can't say somebody who is not really our own to come into the country and produce such. It may be detrimental to us, our security in Nigeria. So no foreigner can come into the country for the business of production of arms and ammunition. So if you're faced with a scenario and a foreigner XYZ coming into the country for the production of AK-47, it should ring a bell, like, okay, no, this is not allowed. Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2 is production of paramilitary wares. Paramilitary wares are the uniform for the police, the immigration, the custom. Those are the paramilitary wear. So no foreigner is allowed to do such business in Nigeria. And number 3 is production of narcotic drugs. Those are actually hard drugs, and we all understand that these three exemptions are actually quite reasonable. Okay, so those are the exemptions to the general rule that foreigners can come into the country to do business. So whenever you're faced with a scenario and you can see anything that relates to these 3 exemptions, you should know that that is not allowed, and that should actually help you to actually dissect the questions. Okay, so that is one. The second thing is there are actually rules for foreigners to do business in Nigeria, and let's even say that is one of the rules, that they cannot do business in the negative list. The second one is for foreigners to come into the country and do a business, that foreigner must incorporate a business. That also has some exemptions, okay, but as a general rule, a foreigner must incorporate a business, and that is will be with the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission. That is another rule. Another rule is such company must be registered with the NIPSI, that is the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. Yes, such foreigner must also register their business with the NIPSI, okay, because the NIPSI actually deals with registration of foreign companies and matters that affect them. So another thing is such foreigner must have a valid business visa. For them to come into the country, they must have a valid business visa. And another one is when such foreigner will be in the country for more than 56 days, they must obtain what is called SEPA. I don't know if I pronounced that well. So that actually means combined expatriate residence permit and alien card. Okay, so if a foreigner will be in the country for more than 56 days, it will be necessary for such foreigner to obtain that license or that permit. Okay, so those are the, let me say, 5 rules, the negative list and these other 4. So those are the rules that every foreigner that wants to come into the country to do business must comply with. So another thing is, let's talk about the laws regulating foreign participation. So there are laws that regulate, just like every other businesses that we do in Nigeria, there are laws that actually regulate them. And also for foreigners to come into the country, there must be laws that regulate them. So some of these laws actually regulate other businesses in the country, not that it's only for foreigners. Okay, so number 1 is the CAMA, that is the Companies and Allied Matters Act, that is CAMA, CAMA, and that is the law. So the body that actually regulates, like, function under CAMA is actually the Corporate Affairs Commission, and I think that should ring a bell. That is the body that deals with registration of companies, that is incorporation of companies, incorporation, not registration, incorporation of companies and businesses, and also the issuance of certificates. Okay, so that is the corporate, that is the foremost. And the second one is the NIPSI, Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. So they actually deals with registration of foreign companies, that is companies that are owned by foreigners. Okay, and lots more. So another is let's talk about the Nigerian Immigration Act. Okay, so that is the Nigerian Immigration Service. Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS. Yes, so the work of the Nigerian Immigration Service is actually issuance of permits, business visa, expatriate quota, residence permit. Yes, residence permit. So it is the work of the Nigerian Immigration Service to issue such permits to foreigners for them to come into the country, just like the way we Nigerians will go to them to actually obtain our passport. Okay, so another one is the Investment and Securities Act. So we have that is the law, and the body is Investment and Security Tribunal. So they deals with matters from investment and securities. So that is, I've been able to mention 4. So fall back to your textbooks to actually get some more. I think there should be about 10 to 12 in the textbook. So we've dealt with the meaning, the definition of foreign participation in Nigeria. We have been able to dealt with the rules, the restrictions to foreign participation in Nigeria. We dealt with the laws regulating foreign participation in Nigeria. So let's talk about the permits and approval. We talked about business permits, residence permits. We talked about expatriate quota. There is also SEPA. Yes, SEPA, that's the 4th one. That is the combined expatriate resident permits and alien cards. So for business permits, it is only we, the citizens of Nigeria, that we can do business freely. They can also do business freely, but we do not need permits. Okay, I want to do this business in Nigeria, because you're a citizen of Nigeria. It's like a birthright, you can do business in Nigeria. Okay, so for foreigners, they need to obtain a business permit. So that is actually what you get from the Nigerian Immigration Service. Okay, I mentioned that earlier. So the expatriate quota, it is actually a permit that a foreign company will get for foreigners. Like if a foreign company wants to recruit employers from another country, so it will be a permit to bring those foreign employees into the country. That is expatriate quota. Okay, and the residence permit, someone who wants to stay in Nigeria and do business in Nigeria also needs to actually get such a permit. Okay, so and the SEPRA is for someone who wants to reside and do business in Nigeria at the same time. Okay, so these are the 4 permits. You can need to also fall back to your textbook. This is just for you to have an understanding. This is, I said it earlier, that this tutorial will be a very concise one, not something that you can rely on for your bar finals. So for you to have an understanding and fall back to your textbook. Okay, so that is that on permits. So let's talk about the mode of participation. How can foreigners participate in business in Nigeria? So number 1, we have the foreign direct investment. Number 2, we have the foreign portfolio investment, and number 3, we have the foreign exempted company. As those names or those title implies, foreign direct investment, that is, the foreigner is coming to the country to do business. So for such foreigners, the first thing that is important is, if it's necessary for them to have a joint venture, they would need to do that. Another one is they need to incorporate a business. I've said that earlier. If the person is coming into the country, they must incorporate a business. Another one is for them to register their company with NIPSI, Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. Other necessary registrations. Okay, but those are the ones that actually just come to my mind. Now you can use your textbook to check for others. So the foreign portfolio investment, as the name or the title implies, portfolio investment, the person is actually acquiring shares in a public quoted company. I mentioned earlier that a public quoted company means a company that has the equity shares registered in the stock market. Okay, so that is another way foreigner can participate in Nigeria. So just acquire shares in a public quoted company in Nigeria. So, and the last form of participation or foreign participation is the exempted companies. These are companies that are actually exempted from registration in Nigeria, from incorporation of a business in Nigeria. We said that as a general rule, every foreigner that's coming to the country to do a business must register, must incorporate. Please, the word incorporate is actually necessary, not register. Incorporate a business. So to that general, we are saying, okay, there are certain companies that they do not need to incorporate their business in Nigeria. So number 1 is actually companies that are actually invited by the federal government to execute a project. Or either they are invited by the federal government or under their approval. Probably someone else invited them, but the federal government approved they are coming into the country to execute a project. So they are invited, they're already in the country. So such company do not need to incorporate a business. Second type of company is actually one that is in Nigeria to execute a loan project on behalf of a donor. Okay, that is another company that may apply for exemption, okay, from incorporation of companies. So another form of company is a company that are actually solely into the promotion activities, exportation promotion activities. Such company can actually be exempted from incorporation. So others are actually consultants, technicals. Technicals are actually in Nigeria for a project by the federal government or any branch of the federal government. So those are the 4 type of companies or set of people that may apply for exemption from incorporating a company in Nigeria. So that is basically all I have for you under foreign participation in Nigeria. God will help me to come up with more tutorials, because before I sit to film anything, I must actually refresh my memory with the textbook. And you can see my notes, I jot certain things. So while refreshing my memory, I jot certain things. I still have my handbook with me, even though I am aware that the handbook must have been actually revised. Okay, so but I use that with the new textbook to actually guide myself before sitting and to refresh my memory before sitting to make any tutorial videos. So if you have any question, please do not hesitate to drop it in the comment section. And if you also have more suggestions of topics or that I should do tutorials on, please do not hesitate to also drop that in the comment section. Thank you so much, and I will see you in another video.